We are back for module 9, which is freaking crazy. And this is where we start to get into body image work. Now we have this module on body image specifically, and our next module, module 10, goes into body respect, which definitely is a component of body image for sure. Just know, you guys, that if you are really wanting deeper body image work and deeper body image support, that's where I definitely recommend you guys consider the Homecoming program. I only offer it once a year, so it's probably, it may not be open right now, but to consider it if you feel like body image is your biggest hang up. Homecoming, we go deep into body image. And so if you're wanting more, that's there for you there. But we will do some really good body image work today to at least get you started in a powerful way. Do not underestimate the power of what we will do in today's video. But just know that if you are wanting more support, that's where you can find it, okay? Of course, I have my mini courses as well. All right, so let's get into really looking at body image and what it really means to respect our bodies and why it's so important to respect our bodies, all right? And so I want to start off by talking about beliefs, all right? The word belief comes from the Latin meaning to hold dear. All right, so any belief is simply a thought that we choose to hold dear. Now, for so much of our lives, what we don't realize is that we do choose our beliefs, all right, and we get to choose what we hold dear. But for so long, we don't realize this. And so we just have all these beliefs in our head that just are planted into us by other people, by media, by culture, by family, by friends. And we just accept them as truth. I think especially when it comes to bodies and what bodies are deemed good or beautiful or healthy and what ones aren't. And we think that they're fact, but when it comes down to it, they're just beliefs and really just false body beliefs that are, again, put into us by diet culture. And so today we're going to go over some powerful practices for how do we really notice and be aware of our current body beliefs and then change them, okay? And then we change them. So to start this, we have to do something that's really important, and we have to get really uncomfortable, all right? Because again, to really make any lasting change, we have to fully acknowledge the current beliefs that are in us. And remember, so much love and compassion for yourself as you do this, because if you have some beliefs in you that you're like, ooh, that... and you might logically be like, I know it's not right. I don't want to believe it, but it's there. You're like, but it is what it is. That's what I feel like is, yep, it's there. That's what I'm talking about. And those aren't your fault. Those quote, like icky beliefs that diet culture put in you are not your fault. They are the fault of diet culture. Okay? They are the fault of diet culture. So never blame yourself. Always blame diet culture. There are people who profit billions of dollars. I'm going to even say trillions, because if we add in like the beauty industry and all of that, there's trillions of dollars being profited off of us not liking the way that we look. Okay? And so it is not your fault for any of your negative body beliefs that you currently hold. But we got to get uncomfortable and pull them out of us so we can see them and be aware, because we can't challenge them or change them if we don't first acknowledge what they currently are. So are you willing to do this work? Are you willing to get uncomfortable? Okay. So let's do this. I want you to think of a time that you felt self-conscious in your body. Maybe it was a day you were having when you didn't like the way that you looked, you saw yourself in the mirror, had a triggering experience. Maybe you were shopping in a fitting room or getting ready for a big event or something like that. Okay? And even though it's going to be uncomfortable, I want you to step back into that experience, that version of you. Maybe it's you today. I don't know. But step into that version of you who felt really insecure, who felt really bad about her body. And know that you can tap out of this exercise at any point in time. Okay, if you need a break, open your eyes and chill out. But then close your eyes and feel your heart beat as that version of you. Step into her shoes, put your fingers in her finger slots, breathe as her. And tell me, what must this version of you be believing about her body in order to have this experience of not liking her body? I want you to journal what comes up for you here. And I want you to give yourself in your journal, at least 5 of these negative limiting body beliefs that you're holding. Whatever those mean. Okay, so pause. Take plenty of time with this. Okay, until you have 5 that you're like, yeah, I totally believe this. These are my negative, false, limiting body beliefs. When you're ready, you can unpause. Okay, so I hope you did that. I really hope that you actually did the work. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's icky. Trust me, trust the process. So next, we want you to now ask yourself this question of, what are you making all of this, these beliefs, your body, what are you making all of this mean about you as a person? Pause and journal. Okay. So go ahead and just shake it all out. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it out. Giving ourselves so much love and so much compassion for these negative body beliefs and what we've made them mean about us. Reminding ourselves that it's not our fault that we have these negative beliefs. It's all entirely diet culture's thoughts. Now we have to, again, get real with these false limiting beliefs in order to really change them, right? We had to start with calling them out and getting aware. So what we want to first do, all right, before we go further, is really look at more of the background behind where these beliefs come from. I think one of the really empowering things we can do when a negative body belief comes up is we can really look at the origins and get fired up and get mad so we can change it. So when we look at these beliefs, I'm guessing that there's at least one part of a belief there where it was something along the lines of, oh, a thinner body is better, right? Bigger bodies are less than, they're not as beautiful, whatever it is, right? That thinner bodies are better than bigger bodies. And we want to call that what it is. That's called fat phobia. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but that's called fat phobia, right? It's fearing fat. And really in this culture that we grow up in, unfortunately, we all have internalized fat phobia. We fear fat. We see fat as wrong, as bad because of diet culture, because of this culture that we live in. And let's call a spade, right? With what we know, what we learned in Module 2 about set point weight theory and the truth of body diversity, if we are saying that thinner bodies are better, prettier, more worthy than bigger bodies, that is simply a form of discrimination, right? And there are many ways that people in larger bodies face very real oppression simply because they're in a larger body. And that is not okay. And so one of the things that I think is really helpful as we do our body image work, and we look at these beliefs, right? Beliefs, again, when we choose to hold these things as dear, going forward, the practice will be, because guess what? Your negative beliefs will come up again. And so the practice is going to be when, not if, but when that negative belief comes up, one of the very first things I want you to pause and do is say, do I choose to uphold this system of discrimination and oppression? Do I choose to play into that? Yes or no? not only is ranking body sizes a form of discrimination and oppression, but we also want to see where that comes from. There's a really incredible book called Fearing the Black Body by Dr. Sabrina Strings. And she, oh my goodness, does a tremendous job of tracing the origins of fat phobia to racism. And so not only is fat phobia in itself harmful, deeply harmful, but it's also, right, it also has its origins in racism. So fat phobia is inherently racist. When we look at the history, ranking body sizes was yet just another way that white people wanted to make themselves better. So if you had a white, smaller body, you were at the top. And so, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to say. It's uncomfortable to like take that in. And so again, but I think it's important that we say this. It's important that we fully understand what diet culture is rooted in and what fat phobia is rooted in. So that then again, when these beliefs come up, we can be like, not only do I not want to, discriminate based on body size, period, but I also want to be actively anti-racist. And so for me to be actively anti-racist, I can't support the racist idea that a larger body is less than a thinner body. Because fat phobia, again, is rooted in racism. If you want to learn more about that, I definitely recommend, again, Dr. Sabrina Strings' book, Fearing the Black Body. It's a doozy of a read. It's very in-depth. It's like kind of like a textbook. And also Chrissy King is a really wonderful person to learn from as well. Her Instagram is at I am Chrissy King. We actually also had her on the Babes in It podcast. We have an episode with her on this. It's just really important for us to fully call out and recognize where this all comes from. Okay? And so with that said, I want you now to look at each belief that came up for you. Now, it can feel like these beliefs are facts, okay? But they're not. They're just false limiting beliefs. I want you to go through each one, and I want you to give evidence of where it's not true. So for instance, there's a belief that a lot of us have had, maybe you listed it out, that if we gain weight or have like a larger body, it means that we've like let ourselves go or we don't take care of ourselves. And that's what diet culture wants us to believe, which is again, really, that's, oh my God, it's just like making so many assumptions based on body size. And so think, do you know, maybe it's you or someone that you know that lives in a larger body or gained weight and takes good care of themselves? I mean, I'm an example, right? Me gaining weight, a lot of weight, was a result of me taking care of myself. Okay, so that's not true. Cross that off. Look at here's an example, and we can list off like, set point weight theory, body diversity is real, right? So we're showing our subconscious, we're showing our minds, right? Oh, look at here are our ways that we disprove this belief that we have felt like is fact. But here's where it's not. A fact has to be true all the time. 2 + 2 always equals 4. So if we can even find one instance of these beliefs not being true, then boom, there you go. If it's like, bigger bodies aren't as beautiful as smaller bodies. Well, can you think of somebody in a larger body who is stunning? Because I sure as hell can. I can list off many, right? Okay, so that's not true. If it's like, if I was in a smaller body, I would fall in love. Do you know anybody in a bigger body who is happily in love? I certainly do. Or maybe it's like, if I gain weight, my partner won't love me anymore. I've gained tons of weight since meeting Alex. He met me right as I was beginning to recover from my eating disorder. So literally I've gained tons of weight in the 7 years that we have been together. He still loves me, right? And so we want to challenge each of these beliefs and list out evidence where you can disprove the belief. And that's where we're going to get to see, these aren't true. These are just false diet culture beliefs. They're just beliefs. And I love the question too. When you're at the end of you doing all this journaling, who profits off of you holding on to these negative beliefs? What's the system? that is profiting? Because that's a powerful question. That, again, we can see, oh, this is not my fault. I believed this. This industry makes billions of dollars off of me believing that. It's not my fault. It's a very wise system that has tried to co-opt my mind to buy all of their products. And that's, I think, really, really, really powerful, right? Really, really, really powerful. And so then so after we challenge the beliefs, all right, after you go through and you challenge those beliefs, the next thing that you're going to do is write out a new belief. All right, write out a new belief. So now that we can see, oh, that's not true, then what is true? What is the belief that, again, you are now choosing to hold as dear? If the belief was, oh, thinner bodies are more attractive, say all bodies are attractive. All bodies are beautiful. Body diversity is beautiful. All bodies are good bodies. Whatever version feels good to you, right? So you can see all bodies are good bodies. That then becomes your new belief. That then can become a mantra that when that old belief comes up, you're like, number one, do I choose to hold that? Hell no. I don't want to uphold these systems of oppression. Nope, hard pass. That's not true. That's diet culture bullshit. And then you can root it yourself into all bodies are good bodies. One thing I love to add here is that this work and body image work, and this is where, again, we can only do so much in one video, right? One module. But body image work is really, you guys, about having a good relationship with our bodies. And we're going to get actually into that piece more in the next module. But what I want you guys always to know, and what we want to work on, is knowing that our bodies are good because they're our bodies, right? All bodies are good because they're human. And it's a both and. We are more than our bodies. We are more than our bodies. And so even on a hard body image day, when you're really feeling woof and you don't feel like your body is good, I still want you to be able to be rooted in the truth that you're more than your body. Okay? Again, that's some of the deeper work that happens inside of homecoming, but you can absolutely start that here for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. So now what I want you to do is obviously take what we did here, and I want you to journal the hell out of it, right? Again, this work only works if you do. It only works if you do. And I want you to list out your new beliefs, all right? At least 5, if not like 10 new beliefs about you, your body, beauty, whatever it is, right? Positive, empowering body beliefs. I'm going to let you in on a secret about your subconscious mind. To reprogram it, it needs repetition. And so with these body beliefs, if you are serious about changing the things that you believe about your body, if you can say these beliefs, and maybe you start with one, and you're like, I'm going to start the belief that my body is good and I'm more than my body, or all bodies are good bodies, whatever like your mantra is, okay? And you're going to say that 10 times in a row with feeling. And if you can do that 2 times a day, amazing. 3 times a day, ooh, baby, watch out. 4 times a day, you're going to be unstoppable. Make it a habit. One way I like to easily integrate this is whenever I get into my car. And I'm a person who I get in my car to get my morning Diet Coke. Most mornings. Maybe it's your coffee. Or maybe you are, driving to work, or driving a kid to school, or driving to the park to walk your dog, or whatever. Car time is a lot of times alone time, right? So it's a great time to say with passion, all bodies are good bodies. I'm more than my body. Or maybe you do it when, after you brush your teeth. Because, hey, you brush your teeth morning and night, probably, right? Boom. Put it right there. Maybe you put it at the end of your mindfulness practice. Boom, put it there. Before bed, even just in your mind, can you do it? All bodies are good bodies. Whenever you look in the mirror, can you do it? The more you do it, the more you say it or repeat it out loud with passion, with purpose, you will really actually start to believe it. So, I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear some of your beliefs in the Facebook group. The last thing to do for your action step, right, here is to journal on, well, there's two things actually. Journal on redefining beauty. For so long, our definition of beauty has been strictly superficial and strictly based in diet culture and fat phobia. I want you to reclaim beauty. I want you to really journal what being beautiful actually means to you, holistically. Whatever comes up, this is just for you. Number 2 is I want you to journal out 10 qualities that make you so freaking awesome, that make you you, that have nothing to do with the way that you look. Okay? 10 qualities. Maybe you're like, I have really good energy. Or maybe you're like, man, I am smart as hell. I'm a really good writer. I'm an excellent speaker. I'm a really fucking good friend. Excuse my French. Right? I am a great cook. I make people feel welcome. Like, what is that for you? I ask really good questions. Because those things matter way more than how we look. Right? The inner, the deeper is always more meaningful than the exterior, the superficial. So, that is your work for today. This is, when things kind of get a little deeper, where our coaching calls are really helpful. So feel free to bring anything to our coaching calls. I'm happy to support you in those.